You can't tell her. Please. You'll destroy everything. He was actually begging. After he told everyone I was a crazy, pathetic liar. He was begging me for silence. I held up my phone, showing him the screenshots. You destroyed everything when you were on Grindr? I said. Now she knows. My ex-fiancé is telling everyone I'm a crazy liar after he cheated on me with men. Now he has a new girlfriend. And I don't know if I should warn her? Hey Reddit. I'm in a really twisted situation and I honestly don't know what the right thing to do is anymore. I need some unbiased perspective, because my head is just spinning. It all started about a year ago. My then boyfriend. Let's call him M. And I had been together for a while and things felt serious. One night, he was in the shower and left his phone on the coffee table. It buzzed. Screen lit up. And I glanced over. It was a notification from an app I didn't recognize. Normally, I wouldn't even think twice. But my gut just lurched. I picked it up. And my stomach dropped. It was a DM on a social media app. The messages were from several different women. All of them OnlyFans creators. My brain couldn't really process it at first. I was just staring at the words. He wasn't just subscribing. He was actively trying to arrange meetups. He was complimenting them in ways he hadn't complimented me in months. Offering to pay for their time. Asking when they were available. The logical part of my brain was trying to figure out what to do next. Do I confront him screaming? Do I pack a bag and just leave? What does this even mean for us? I decided to wait. I put the phone back down. My heart hammering against my ribs. And just sat there in silence until he came out of the bathroom. When he saw my face, he knew something was wrong. I didn't even have to say anything. I just looked at the phone. He tensed up. The first words out of his mouth weren't, "I'm sorry." They weren't, "It's not what it looks like." He looked me dead in the eye and said, "Well, I only did it 'cause you weren't giving me any attention lately." The air went out of the room. It was like he'd thrown a bucket of ice water on me. He wasn't apologizing. He was giving me a reason. A justification. As if his actions were a logical consequence of my own failings. My immediate reaction was to get angry. To yell about how insane that sounded. But then another thought crept in. The one that wanted to save us. Have I been distant? Have I been too focused on work? He saw that flicker of doubt in my eyes and seized on it. He spent the next hour talking about how lonely had been. How it was a stupid mistake. And how it was just a cry for help. He promised it was a one-time thing. We talked for what felt like days. We set new boundaries. No more porn. He said. He'd delete the apps. He swore he understood how much it hurt me and that he'd do anything to earn my trust back. And I let him. I chose to believe him. I loved him. And I wanted to believe that this was a problem we could solve together. I thought we were fixing a crack in our foundation. In hindsight, I realized I was just helping him paper over it. For a while. Things were amazing. We got closer. Communicated more. And a few months later, we moved into our first apartment together. Not long after that, he proposed. I truly, honestly believed we had overcome it and that the worst was behind us. I had no idea it was about to get so much worse. Things were good for a while. We were living together. Building a life. He got down on one knee and I said yes. He would constantly reassure me. Bringing up the OnlyFans incident himself just to say, I promise I will never, ever do anything to harm this relationship again. You're my future. He seemed so sincere. And I was so in love. That I let myself believe it. I wore his ring. Planned our future. And slept soundly next to him every night. Convinced we had weathered the storm. That peace lasted until October of last year. I was at home cooking dinner when my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. I almost ignored it. But then another one came through from a different unknown number. I wiped my hands on my jeans and checked. The first message started with, "Hey girly. This is super random." My brows furrowed. It went on to say that the sender had been talking to a guy on Grindr who he was pretty sure was my fiancé. He even attached a screenshot of the profile. My heart stopped. It was Miss Picture. His age. And the bio mentioned things only he would say. Before I could even respond, I read the second text. It was almost identical. Another guy. Another "Hey girly." Another warning that my fiancé was on a hookup app for men. Trying to meet up. My first thought wasn't anger. It was total. Blank confusion. Grindr. Is this a joke? Are his friends pranking me? It didn't make any sense. But two different people. Within minutes of each other. The odds of that being a coincidence were zero. I felt this cold dread creep up my spine. This wasn't a prank. This was real. I walked into the living room where he was playing video games. My phone gripped in my hand so tight my knuckles were white. I need to see your phone, I said. My voice was eerily calm. He didn't even pause his game. What for? I'm busy. Give me your phone. Now. He finally looked at me. Saw the look on my face. And his whole demeanor shifted. He went on the defensive immediately. Why? You don't trust me. After everything we've been through. You're still checking up on me. He was trying to turn it around on me. Just like last time. But it wasn't going to work. Not again. I didn't argue. I just held out my hand and waited. After a tense standoff, he finally unlocked it and shoved it at me. I went straight to his photo gallery. It took me less than 10 seconds to find them. Just like before. He had a collection of screenshots. Dozens of them. They were all chats from Grindr. Explicit. Graphic conversations with multiple men. Plans to meet. Photos exchanged. I lowered the phone and just stared at him. The man I was going to marry. The man who swore he would never hurt me again. It wasn't a crack in the foundation anymore. The whole house had just been leveled. And in that moment, I realized something with absolute clarity. This was never about me. It wasn't about my lack of attention. Or our communication. Or anything I did or didn't do. This was about him. He was a liar. And he was never going to change. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I felt strangely empty. I slid the engagement ring off my finger. The one he had sworn represented his promise to me. And I placed it on the coffee table next to his controller. We're done, I said. Then I walked into our bedroom and started packing a bag. The breakup wasn't clean. He didn't just accept it and move out. He spent days alternating between begging for me back and getting angry. Calling me ruthless for ending things so quickly. I stood my ground. I had the screenshots. The irrefutable proof. And I knew there was nothing left to discuss. Eventually, he packed his stuff and left. And a heavy, painful silence settled over the apartment that was supposed to be our home. I started trying to piece my life back together. Leaning on my friends and trying to heal. But then, the story started. A mutual friend called me. Sounding awkward and hesitant. She said M had told a group of people that ID had some sort of mental breakdown. That I became paranoid and controlling. And that I made up insane lies about him to justify leaving. He was telling everyone I was pathetic and couldn't handle a real commitment. It clicked into place instantly. He was launching a preemptive strike. I realized he was terrified of the truth coming out, not just the cheating, but specifically the Grindr aspect. He knew his family wouldn't understand, and he was building a wall of lies to protect himself. Brick by brick. By painting me as the villain. He was reversing reality. Telling the world that I was the liar. Every time I heard a new version of his story. It was like a small paper cut. It didn't kill me. But it stung. And it was a constant reminder of his deception. I'd been trying my best to ignore it. To block him out and move on. But last night, I was scrolling mindlessly through social media and a tagged photo popped up on my feed. It was him. He was at a bar. Arm wrapped tightly around a new girl. Beaming like he hadn't just shattered someone's world a few months ago. She was looking up at him with this trusting, happy smile that I recognized all too well because it used to be mine. My heart didn't ache with jealousy. It sank with dread. For her. My mind started racing. What has he told her about me? He's almost certainly fed her the crazy, lying ex story. She has no idea who she's smiling at. She doesn't know she's with a man who has a deeply rooted pattern of cheating. Blaming his partner for it. And then lying with a straight face when he gets caught. She's walking into the exact same trap I just barely escaped from. This is where I'm completely torn. A huge part of me feels a moral obligation to warn her. If I were in her shoes, I would want to know. I would want someone to send me a message. With the proof. And save me from the inevitable heartbreak and humiliation that's coming her way. I have the screenshots. I could end her confusion before it even begins. But then, I think about what he's been telling everyone. He has already laid the groundwork to discredit me. If I reach out to her, he'll twist it immediately. He'll tell her. See, I told you she was obsessed and pathetic. She can't stand to see me happy. I'll become the living proof for his lies. It feels like a no-win situation. If I stay silent, I feel complicit. Like I'm letting him get away with it and allowing another person to get hurt. But if I speak up, I risk being permanently branded as the crazy ex-fiancé who can't let go. So, Reddit. What do I do? Do I contact his new girlfriend and show her the proof, knowing it will likely blow up in my face and confirm his narrative about me? Or do I just wash my hands of it, block them both, and let her learn the hard way?